Okay, we are live. I see Aisha in the chat already. She didn't start commenting.
Hey, Aisha. Yeah,
Hey, girl. Go ahead, Bree.
this episode was. It started off slow. I was happy that some people were making peace, but when it got to Hayden and Tamara, that woke me up. That was
Oh
so
my God.
trifling.
I know. Okay, so you know what? Because we're gonna jump into this. Welcome, you guys, to Soap Corner Talk, where you have Let's Talk Sisters with Bree and T. And make sure you hit the like button. I did share it in the Facebook groups, and thank you to the moderators and you guys over there who approve the video link. So if you are here and you listen in the background, make sure you continue to come back. We've been doing the recap, Bree and I, for the last 3 weeks, right, Bree? This is our
Yeah.
third week, right? And I've seen a little movement and some folks commenting, and we've seen the viewership go up. Hey, Harvey. Hey, Crystal. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, we got to talk, sisters, tonight, Bree. And listen, it's late, so you can talk your talk.
I'm not holding back because I'm still disturbed.
You still disturbed. Oh, my God.
I'm,
Aisha says too hot for TV.
which part? The fact that people are not brushing their teeth after they kiss somebody.
Oh,
the Yeah, this was good episode, but that part right there, that disturbed me a lot.
I know, I know. So in the beginning, we had a couple of scenes. So we had the scene with Miss Marie, and before that, we had the scene with Sabrina and the guy that interviewed her, and he is desperately
Yes.
wanting to be her baby daddy.
I don't understand why she doesn't see this as like a possible option for like a husband and because even the look on her face like, oh, you want to be the father of my child? Like, you got good teeth, you got good family, you got a baby picture? Like, you're not gonna be the father, so okay. Like, this man is interested in you, he's attracted to you, he thinks that, you'll be a good mother, and he wants to be the father of that child without barely knowing you.
Yeah, obviously that guy likes her. And she is
Yeah.
just, and honestly, I mean, he wants kids just as much as she does. I think she needs to let old boy go. He don't want kids. He's not going to be able to want to raise a kid that she gets from a sperm donor, or if she decides to use this guy.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is Sabrina's plan? I feel like she's going to try to guilt trip Rich into trying to raise that child with her. She doesn't want to give up Rich, which I don't know what
Mm-mm.
he's doing in the bedroom. Maybe that's hard for her to give up. I understand. But if her life goal is to be a mother, to have a family, here's a man who is wide open and he's interested in her.
I
No man
know.
is volunteering to be a sperm donor.
I mean, he was interested in her from the moment go. That's why he asked her out to dinner, and then she broke the news that he showed up to the dinner date and whatnot. But then when the conversation turned to the fact that he don't want kids and she want kids, he saw an opportunity in. Man, you are trying to put yourself in a position where you got a seed out there somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and you gonna be some kind of way conjoined to her for at least 18 years. I can't see him walking away from this kid though.
Right. There's just no, I mean, especially when a man is volunteering so he doesn't have children of his own. He's not going to give up his firstborn child to somebody. Well, I mean, there's sperm donors who probably have plenty of children out there and their own
Right.
children of their own. But he's interested in her.
Mm-hmm.
They could make a whole family. He doesn't. And Isha, You're correct. He is very handsome. I don't see the problem. What is Sabrina's problem? He's perfect. She got the man of her dreams practically at her footsteps. She's got to get to know him a little bit. Rich ain't it.
Yeah, Rich ain't it. Rich need to find somebody who don't want kids. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, why would you be with somebody who don't want kids when you adamantly want children? That doesn't make sense. And Sabrina got a man. He seems like a decent guy, clean cut. Now, granted, they don't know each other yet, but this is the opportunity to maybe cut your losses with Rich and say, hey, you know what? Let me explore this other opportunity and see where it goes. You know he want kids. He's ready to give you a baby. Now, I wouldn't rush into that, but I understand her age too, which is why she is, so hard pressed on this. But I think maybe she might need to go in that direction.
Yes, I hope so. I hope they keep him around. He's very handsome to look at. Now, granted, I know Rich is also handsome himself. There's a lot of handsome men on the show. But if she's serious about the direction she wants to go in her life, she needs to cut her losses with Rich
I know.
and explore what's going on with this handsome man. I can't even think of his name, but he missed the right for her for
Right.
sure.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Now we got Fatima, who before going to that baby shower, she wasn't feeling some kind of way. I mean, it is a weird situation. And I know they put the whole it's a village, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand what Fatima feels, but at the same time, she chose to be in this.
Right. And I could maybe understand where she might be coming from. She is his whole fiance, and she won't really be able to give him like a first son or a first daughter, I guess, in this case now.
Right.
So she walked into a situation with a man with a child already, and now he has a second child with another woman, and she's still choosing to be there and be bonus mom. So she can pout and not be happy, but she also has an option to leave the situation if she's not happy with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I think Fatima want kids, right?
I didn't really see her express that. She seemed like she wants her law degree more than kids.
Well, Aisha said Fatima needs a baby. I don't, she's having a hard time dealing with Michael and going to law school, like you said, Bree. And then now she's a bonus mom to Karen to Zach's ex.
And she said both of the kids.
Oh
So
man.
once again, she put herself in this position. I think what's going to end up happening is she's going to commit to too much. It's going to be overwhelming for her, and it's going to affect her law school performance.
Yeah, I'm wondering how this, because they do have their own series called Zatima. How does this
Yeah.
spill over into this? And I haven't watched Zatima because I know a lot of that is on BT Plus. Just
Mm-hmm.
like Bruh is. I kind of wanted to check that out, but that's on BT Plus. Oh, Harvey says she's pregnant on Zatima. Really, Harvey?
Whoa.
Okay. How did they? Oh,
Right.
how you got two concurrent shows running? Oh, I don't know. Okay. All right, Harvey. Thanks for the update on that one. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Zach got 3 kids now? Or
Apparently so, because I haven't seen Zatima. I think this has got to be either season 3, because Zatima just came out in like 2022, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And, wow. But my thing is, how are you running that show concurrent with this one, where you got Fatima pregnant over there, and then over here on Sistas, she's going to law school. But
And
again,
sipping on champagne and everything.
exactly. And what that's Tyler Perry for you, girl.
I guess he making something happen over there. That, my goodness, Zach, wrap it up, sir. The woman's like, He got 3 kids, 3 different baby mamas now, and he's not married. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole different cast over there too. Cause I kind of caught one, maybe part of season one and early part of season two, but it's a totally different cast. They don't even cross over like Andy or any of them. Her friend crosses over on both shows. You know, the girl that she said that Zach should have left Michael with last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now she crosses over both shows, but yeah. Wow. Okay, moving on. Besides that, we had the whole thing that went on at the office with Miss Marie. And we can definitely tell Andy is distracted. Obviously, she ain't been talking to her friends. And it looked like for 2 weeks. According to what... Didn't one of the girls say we haven't heard from you in like 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, she ain't been saying nothing. And then this whole situation where Miss Marie is like, what's wrong with you? But
She just stupid as all get out. And I'm like, working with the FBI. Why are you not telling them this? Why? What is the whole purpose of coming to your job sad? Even Miss Marie is like, what the hell is going on with you? And then going around your friends sad, just sad. And she put herself in this position.
Right. I mean, you just said it. What if we got Penelope in with working with the FBI, witness protection, why wouldn't you not think that Andy should just go, not you, but why wouldn't Andy just go and say, hey, listen, y'all got to do something about, Gary, because this guy is threatening me. He's threatening me that I got to marry him or else this, that, and the third is going to happen. But she's just sitting there. She just falling right in line, which tells me part of her still want to be with Gary because she got backing. That's a threat. Yep. Isn't that blackmail?
It's a whole lot of things. I think he threatened to unalive her and everything. Like, it's my thing is she went above and beyond to go to the FBI and work with them to try to bring Gary down, which is what she should have done from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And now she got herself caught up in a situation, and that man keeps reminding her, look, you're in my house, driving my car, doing this. You might as well be my wife at this point. I'm just paraphrasing, but This is exactly his motive, his motivation. And she's falling right into place. She's been falling into place with this man.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the cold shoulder she got when she walked into that baby shower from Rich and what's the other guy? Tony.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, we ain't talking to you, because we did see earlier in the episode where they went over to the house and the house was so funky because the man is up in there sulking, not taking a shower, grieving on Andy breaking up with her, and they are not happy about that at all.
I'm like, they both need to sit down. Both Tony and Rich need to sit down. But Tony has a whole ex-wife who wants to try to get him back and try to play house. And Rich got a woman who's going to try to guilt trip him into a baby. They got their own issues they got to be worried about. Jordan is okay. Yeah. He's a good-looking guy. He can find another girl. And plus, Andy was playing him like a fiddle as it is. It took her however many months to say that she loves him and she wants to be with him. And she was so quick to drop him like a bad habit to do whatever Gary had asked her to do.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know what? As long as she kept that penthouse and that Rolls Royce that Gary gave her, you gave him access. You know that man wasn't going to walk away from all of that.
No. It probably still got cameras, mics, and everything in that house still. And she just laying up in there in the bed every day. Like it's nothing. Like she deserves it. Like this man is threatening your life and threatening the life of a whole other person. He then took pictures last week of Jordan with the male prostitute, female prostitute, all these prostitutes, and threatening to spread that. And he's like, "Look, you either come be with me, be my wife, or I'm going to spread it." And she's like, "Okay." Like I don't feel bad for Andy. Like she has a whole life insurance policy for Gary. I think she's going to try to unalive her very very soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's stupid enough to just go ahead and marry this dude. She that afraid of Gary that you more afraid of Gary than the FBI. Is he
Yep.
that bad? Is he have that much power over you that he's more powerful than the FBI? Make that make sense.
And Penelope is still in witness protection, working with the FBI still.
Yep. Harvey Mitchell said Andy opened her mouth when she wasn't supposed to. The FBI told her to be quiet. Yes, they did.
Yep. See, and she's supposed to be this high-powered, intelligent attorney, and that degree doesn't mean a damn thing. Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, she exactly, Aisha. She crazy and got no strength at all in her. I mean, she wasn't. They told her to keep this under wraps. You had to tell him. Go. I mean, she wasn't supposed to tell him. Period. And of course, Gary listening to everything because there's that guy that's working with him. I forgot his name. The little white guy working
Yeah.
for him. He's a snake in the grass working for Gary to put little bugs around the house. Girl.
I'll never understand. I'm surprised that Penelope contacted Jordan.
Yep.
That was very surprising. So even Penelope was able to contact Jordan and say like, "Hey, she's okay, and you can move on from Andy," or something like that, something to that effect. But she's still working with the FBI. Why wouldn't Andy try to put herself in the same witness protection if it's gotten that bad? Or at least let somebody else know, but she wants to be Superwoman and do it all herself.
Exactly. Yep. But she figures she got this all under control. Ain't nobody handling Gary. Gary just doing what he want to do. Gary is a straight. They turn. Gary used to do petty crimes, right? Just little petty stuff. They turned him into a whole monster. He called Fatima. When he called her the B word, Fatima was about to take his head off.
Look, she's the pit bull that she's always been, and Andy is a chihuahua that hides behind her. So it didn't surprise me. But my only issue is, why wouldn't she even tell Fatima that?
Yeah, because
as much information as she knows.
You talking about the breakup?
About the breakup, about the threat with Gary. Well, she'll tell her next week. But still, like if she's that scared and feels so threatened that she can't even focus at her job, about to lose Miss Marie as a client, and this man is showing up and popping up whenever he chooses to, why don't you hide behind your pit bull, tell her what was going on, and let Fatima at least do the protecting?
What Fatima do? Call Madam. Her cousin. And her
so she had to close. So Fatima's a whole third-party service, basically.
Exactly.
Just the go-between.
But yeah, that whole thing was crazy. I mean, he come up in there talking crazy to everybody, and you got Zach, Rich, Maurice even wanted to knuckle up for a second. But they just let him go. It's like, y'all really scared of this man.
And they were telling him, "You need to go. You need to leave. That's his house."
That's what he said too. And they didn't know what he was talking about. Now, see, here's the thing. I think Fatima knows. The girls know that house was given to, that condo was given to her, by Gary, season, what was it, 4, maybe 5. and that Rolls Royce too. And she thought, well, I'm just gonna take it, and I'm still not gonna be indebted to him. Really?
Right.
This is chickens coming home to roost.
And it's gonna be her own making. Like she had access to the police.
Mm-hmm.
None of this. It shouldn't have gone this far. But she gonna end up marrying this man.
Cause think about it.
And
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. She gonna end up marrying this man, and she gonna be his life insurance policy at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Harvey. Fatima got to do is call Madam, and Gary would be gone. She got
So what is
ammunition. She got the FBI on one side, and she got Fatima's people on the other side.
But she wants to do it herself.
Girl, she want to be with Gary. As much as
Yes.
she can't stand Gary, she love his eggplant.
I guess it does some magical tricks. I mean, ask Tamara.
Well, remember, Danni saw it. And Danni was like, yeah, he's hung.
There is no amount of peen length that will make me want to go above and beyond for this man. I couldn't do that. And he's threatening my life. No, there's plenty of men out there with magical peen. I'll call it that. But still, she's supposed to be book smart, and she is the least smartest person on the show. I will never understand that.
Yeah. What it comes down to is that she know that she can use other resources to get Gary under control, but the problem is that part of her still want this man. Yep. Part of her still want this dude, and she can't cut him loose. I mean, she been with him for years. They have a lot of dark history, but she keep going back to him, no matter
And she chose to be a participant of all that dark history for whatever reason. It couldn't be more than this. I think she still loves this man. Probably. She was quick to give up Jordan like it was nothing.
Probably
nothing.
Mm-hmm. All right, we gotta go back to the whole thing with Miss Marie telling Hayden to meet her in her office, and we all know what went from there because he turned around and put them same lips on Tamara. Now my thing is, if you got a freaking pubic hair in your mouth, what does your mouth smell like? You mean to tell me Tamara couldn't tell that his mouth was in some cat?
That was so disgusting. So, okay, I don't know where to begin. So Tamara was flossing on camera. Literally. This man didn't brush his teeth. And I'm like, Tamara, why are you mad? Did you brush your teeth every time you were with Gary? Like,
yeah.
It's just, what was she mad at? I'll never understand that, because she has no problem taking Gary's pain and just sneaking off on the side. Don't want to show Hayden her phone. And I think Hayden knows what she's up to, what she's doing. It's just, what is she mad about? Or she just wants to have a reason to be upset. Well, Hayden is trying to solidify his position as the next stepman.
Girl, my thing is, you need to go and get yourself some Listerine and rinse your mouth out. You got hair. Listen, I can't even if I'm combing my hair. And, sometimes things might get on your hand. There's people that's had maybe a hair get in their mouth that's not pubic. You know that's there. You mean to tell me that you got from up under her, put your clothes on, left the office, got in the car, made it back to the house, and you can't tell me that you didn't feel anything in your mouth? But it ended up in Tamara, and she immediately was like, whoa, 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 what's this?
Oh Lord. If he didn't wash his mouth, clean his mouth, he didn't clean himself down there either.
Girl. And then talking about I'm tired. Yeah, I bet you gonna go in there and take a shower too, ain't you?
But good for Miss Marie. She wearing out her that retainer. She's like, look, you're gonna work for me and you're gonna work it on me too.
Yeah, but the thing is, that could blow up in their face because that's a conflict of interest. If her ex, soon to be ex attorney, find out that she's been screwing with her own attorney, that can blow that whole thing out the water.
It could, but she got the pockets to bounce back from it. I can't really say the same thing for Hayden. So he is walking a tightrope when he does that. But I'm not sure as to why Tamara is mad and upset. Like she's doing the same thing for actually several episodes actually.
Harvey Mitchell said it was great too.
It was great. Then he played it off like he didn't know what that was. It's like, how do I know you were, going down on some other guy? And that's very much true because we don't know what does Tamara do.
Well, Tamara screws Gary. We do know that.
And there could be some gray hair there too. So it could be a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I just found that to be just disgusting. They got this girl flossing on camera, pulling out another woman's hair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, ew. Wow. I mean, I'm telling you, if you didn't rinse out your mouth, you mean to tell me you couldn't?
Yeah.
You couldn't smell it, or you couldn't taste a. Oh God, jeez. Okay. I'm not going to. Exactly, Aisha. Exactly.
Yeah. Just nasty.
Just nasty, girl. So it looked like Karen is going to have 2 girls.
Yeah, that was very sweet. She grew up this episode.
Yeah, did you see everybody tried to when she? Oh, did you notice that she left out Sabrina? So remember, she said a little bit of something to Danni, which I thought was cool. She said something to Andy, and she didn't say nothing to Sabrina.
Well, didn't she make her like the godmother? I mean, that's probably all she wanted.
She made all of them the godmothers. She made all of them the godmothers, but
that's not nice, especially since she helped plan the baby shower.
Right. I was like, dang, she ain't gonna say nothing to Sabrina. I would be like, wait a minute, hold on. You make up with Danni and you give her whatever kudos. You even give Fatima some props, but you can't give me none, and I set this whole thing in motion.
Yeah. But she gave props to Andy using being able to use the condo. I'm like, it's Gary's condo, so you really should be thanking him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I give Karen a little tiny bit of growth, just a little bit of growth, but not a whole lot. But she was nice to Fatima and said, hey, you're gonna be my child's bonus mom, and I'm going to try to be mature and go from there. So I'll give her props. Maybe she's maturing during her pregnancy. I'll give her that. Or maybe the hormones just hit her right that day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, all that infight, this is a very, very unconventional, like Zach said. This is a very unconditional situation. I mean, the chances of something, can this happen? Yes. The chances are very slim, and she happened to be one of those slim chances where you had sex with 2 people, you obviously released 2 separate eggs, and of course, with both of them in the same time period, one of the sperms, of course, fertilized one, and the other one fertilized the other one. Now you carrying 2 fraternal twins by 2 different men.
Which I understand being like that this is not an ideal situation for her to have 2 kids with 2 different baby daddies. Like, I understand it's not ideal, but she put herself in that position, and at least she's kind of owning up to it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why she feels like she's alone. Like, Zach is no longer an option, but Aaron is still.
Right. I mean, he technically wants to be with Karen.
Yeah. And he was there. He was happy to be at the baby shower, happy to take care of both kids, both of them.
Well,
so it's just, what does she not like about him? Is she not attracted to him, or is she just so gung-ho on Zach that's not available?
Girl, well, when nobody wanted him and he didn't have a pot to piss in and riding a bicycle, she didn't want to have nothing to do with him. And as soon as he hit the lottery, in so many words, with that stock tip, and he became an overnight millionaire, and because Fatima was there when he was at his worst, which is why he's so crazy about Fatima, because, you know, she continues to go through these things with him. Now you want him back. So I don't know if it's the money or she missed the toxicity, because they were toxic together. In the early seasons, girl, please. Go ahead, what you say?
I was going to say, like, sometimes if a woman's been with a man for too long, she might feel like she has claim to him, especially now that she has a child by him. That's why she was so angry at Danni for even questioning the DNA. Like, or questioning whether or not she should get a DNA test, which turned out it was necessary. But she wanted Zach to be the father of both of those kids, and he was perfectly fine at first with being the father to both of those kids.
So
she's...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so she's not getting her happy ending.
Aisha says that it's the money. So I'm wondering, just say this happened either way, right? And he didn't hit the stock tip. Would she be just as happy to have him around?
Well, it's a two-way street. She could feel either way that she wants to, but that man has still a choice to be with her or not. So he either wants to be with Karen and he chose otherwise. So I think it's more than just the money. It's a matter of, like, if this is the person that you want to really be with, and whether he had a stock tip or not, he didn't want to. And if money was the motivation to be with Zach, then she was getting with him for the wrong reasons, or trying to get back with him for the wrong reasons. Right. Let me say that.
Right, and I think that was what I was trying to allude to, is whether or not because before he had money, she didn't want to have nothing to do with him. The moment that he found it, because he hit that stock tip before they slept together. Would you try to and that was her way of trying to get him back. And they slept together in her office. So I'm thinking it is the money, because it wasn't like they slept together before the stock tip. They slept together after the stock tip. Which means, because when she found out that he was a millionaire, who told him that? One of the girls told her that. One of the girls told her that he hit it big and he got this money and stuff, and then all of a sudden he looked real good again. And she kept trying to get him back from Fatima. And then, of course, she tapped into his feelings. They ended up sleeping together in her office, and the rest is history right there in her stomach. So, and when she found out she was pregnant, she only wanted to be pregnant by Zach, because either one or two things was going to happen. She was going to tap into that money, or she was going to finagle Zach away from Fatima. But he ain't going nowhere. So at least she would have access to the cash.
Yeah, and that's why she got the result that she got. And she can't ignore the fact that she slept with 2 different men at that same time, and this was a lesson for her to learn. But she's still going to get support as far as for her, both of her kids. But she should want a father to be around to help her with that process for her kids. It shouldn't just be about, can he help her
on this day.
financially or not?
Or are you going to show up for a visit? Or are you going to show up to an appointment? I mean,
Right.
that man is ready, willing, and able, Aaron, to be there. He's been wanting to be with her for a very long time. Even when he thought that the baby was Zach's, he still wanted to be with her.
Right. Which is more than she could really ask for at that point in her life. And Harvey Mitchell said that he's not rich anymore on Fatima.
See, and that's what I'm wondering, if she's pregnant and he's not rich, it's almost like Tyler is doing two separate storylines or something.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense, because if he's not rich over on Zatima and she pregnant, and over here on Sistas she's trying to go for a law degree helping him with these kids, and he's still rich. I don't know what Tyler's doing. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's losing it, but this is not making any sense.
It's not making any sense. You're absolutely correct. So, I thought it was interesting. It was an emotional moment. She got all these people around her. There was the conversation she had with her mom before they left, when they were at her house. And she was like, I just don't feel right about this situation. And her mom was like, oh, well, there you got resources. You're getting support. You got two men around you. And I'm thinking, like, ma'am, she's telling you that this is an uncomfortable situation, because it is.
Yeah, and she can't run away from it. At least both of the men want to be there, because that could have been the downside to her story, is that none of the guys want to take care of the kids.
Right. Obviously, there was some tension between Aaron and Zach for a little while, but they hashed it out because their children are going to be siblings. They're going to be sisters. So, it's like, okay, we got to get it together. But I can also understand Karen, if she's now coming into a moment of clarity, she getting away from the whole angst with Fatima and all this. She's having an epiphany moment, like, dang, yeah, I got these babies, and, they're blessings, but at the same time, why am I in this situation? You know what I mean? And
right.
A lot of that, and she had a moment to feel that. It's like, I'm just not comfortable with this, because it's unconventional. It's not something that you would say, hey, I'm pregnant by two men at the same time. And the way, I know her mom wanted to make her feel good, and I'm not saying she should have tore her down like, yeah, you screwed up. No, I'm saying, sometimes you got to let people kind of get their clarity and have their epiphany moments and say, oh, well, I understand.
And knowledge your reality.
Right, exactly. And kind of let her kind of think about, dang, this is where I am. The babies, they're going to be here. They're going to be taken care of. But I'm just not comfortable with this. And maybe it would have been better for her mom to be like, well, I understand that. Yeah, this is a situation based on some choices that you made. The babies will be here, and, we got to, they'll be healthy and got to be taken care of. But she made it more like, girl, you got two men on the hook. This is your resources. They'll be, I wish I had help when I had you. You got two of them. I'm like, Mom, it's still not an ideal situation, okay? And obviously Karen feels that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and she shouldn't really encourage her daughter to look at these men that way, especially since they want to be active fathers to their daughters now.
Exactly. So I kind of gave Mama a side eye on that one. I'm like, really? You looking to extract resources instead of saying, hey, your daughter's having some clarity moments right now. Let her have that. And at the same time, she got to realize what she's got two men that she got to run decisions with when it comes to these kids.
Yeah. But I'm I'm still king over the fact that Zach has 3 different kids with 3 different women now.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's broke on the TV. See that, Tyler Perry, what are you doing?
Exactly. I don't know. It's just a bunch. It's a bunch of weird storylines. I mean, it's definitely entertaining, but I mean, when you got Sabrina having thoughts about whether or not she should, even the way she going back to that storyline, the guy. I mean, she was like, "Let me see your teeth. Do you got crazy stuff in your family?" And I'm thinking, like, "Ma'am, what do you have going on?"
Right.
Since you want to give him the 3rd degree about any crazy, any this, any that, okay, shouldn't you putting in 23 chromosomes yourself, ma'am, and
exactly.
Yeah, and you gonna bring this man who wants a family, obviously, and wants kids. He's attracted to you. You would rather use him as a sperm donor than pick him to be a man in your life who you can build a family with. Possibly.
Right. And want to go along with the pregnancy journey with her too, because Rich is not going to stick around for that.
Oh, girl, no. When she get ready to, just say she takes this man's offer, right? And say, all I want is your sperm. I don't need anything else. You're hands off. That means she going to be doing this by herself. Because Rich ain't doing jack. He ain't going to be, I can't see him being at the delivery. He might be in the hallway. But I don't see him being bedside. I don't see him going to prenatals. I don't see him doing any of that stuff. And just say she high risk and maybe has some complications. She gonna have to, well, she got the girls, but they got their own mess going on.
Right.
When you could have had, go ahead.
No, and he can't drink with her, can't do anything during the pregnancy with her, nothing. Mm-mm. He's going to check out quickly.
Exactly. It's just, I don't know. I hope Tyler actually say, you know what, let's go ahead and have Sabrina make a different decision. I won't call it wise yet because we don't know any. This is a new character. But at least explore it. And maybe if Rich plays, the guy that plays Rich is also on the show, bruh. So maybe he will exit his way out and maybe this brings this guy in. Who knows? I don't know. But I would prefer to see her with this guy versus a man who's on totally opposite direction in life on where they want to go.
Yeah. It's just... I'm hoping next episode she makes a wiser decision. Same way I hope Andy speaks up and makes some wise decision herself. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at this picture in the corner where that look on her face when she's holding that ring up next to this man with his extra tight sweater on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Girl, this man got a sneaky nobody saw that ring when she came in.
Right. I'm like, did she slip it on as soon as she got there? I'm surprised that she kept it under wraps.
And where was she going anyway? She was like, I gotta go. I mean, this is your house. You gonna leave them people up in there? That was, and then of course Gary came up in there talking about where you going. It's just Bogart is way up in there. Well, it's his house, so
it's his house. She just lives in it. She occupies the air in there. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so why did Pam have to put a plug out for her business in the middle of this baby shower?
Pam is the most disrespectful character on this show.
Well, Harvey Mitchell, he said he don't like how they treat Pam.
They being who? The cat? The way they're writing her, or certain characters? I'll be very honest. I cannot stand Pam. I cannot stand her. She's so disrespectful, running a whole business inside of the business and not even remotely trying to help Karen in with the cut for housing her products at her beauty salon. Like, this just disrespectful. And I'm glad that Maurice called it out too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then going to her baby daddy going to Karen's baby daddy to be an investor. She just oversteps way too damn much for me.
Yeah, that was funny. What was Maurice doing? They was trying to feed him baby food so he can guess the baby food game. I'm like, okay, because at first I was like, what are they doing? And then I guess, yeah, that's what he was trying to do. I'm like, okay, whatever.
And there's no other participants.
Right. They were the only one playing the game.
And I had to look at who was feeding. I was like, is that his boyfriend or something? I was like, oh no, that's Aaron. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But they the only one participating in baby games, I guess.
And one more other thing, I did like the interaction between Danni and Fatima, because Danni was like, "How you doing? I know you got to be feeling some kind of way about being a part of all this." I like the interaction between those two ladies.
Me too. I'm glad that at least it seems like everybody's warmed up to Fatima. I haven't really seen like Fatima and Sabrina interact too much, but I love Danni and Fatima in that she has her own opinion, she has her own thought process, and she wants to give Fatima a chance. I do like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Danni can get kind of silly sometime, and we know the situation between her and Tony and the ex and all that. But Fatima will give it to you straight, and that's the one thing I always liked about her. Because when they had these conversations, when something goes wrong with the girls, everybody else in that group, the other three, are trying to tell each other what they want to hear, just to make each other feel better, even if it's the wrong answer. Whereas Danni is like, no, what you need to do is this. It's not the right thing to do. And they be trying to, they try to tell her to shut up. Oh, girl, don't say that. Oh, be quiet. I'm like, she's trying to get, just like Karen say, you know how to keep it real.
Yeah. And Karen definitely needs that for her daughters, because Andy's not going to be the one to do it. And Andy will pacify everything. Like, don't say that. Don't do that. We're not going to talk about that. Let's move forward from that. I'm like, girl, you're a whole attorney. You can't even keep it real.
So let me ask you this, Bree, and then we're coming up on an hour. If you had to pick out of the 5 women, Andy, Sabrina, Karen, Fatima, and Danni, who would you choose to be cool with?
Oh my goodness. It would have to be a cross between Danni and Fatima, but if I had to choose between either of those two, it would probably be Fatima, because I know if something goes wrong, she can call somebody and they can handle it. No questions asked. It's done. Cool. No problem.
I got you. Now, would she be the one that'll tell you the truth? Because a lot of this stuff that Andy gets herself involved in, she'll try to tell Andy, but the moment Andy get into her fifis, Danni back down. Fatima back down. Whereas Danni, she'll tell you how it is, whether you like it or not.
I feel Fatima has to coddle Andy a lot, whereas I can take the truth, so we can chop it up and have a real conversation. And now on top of that, I'm actually smart. I cannot say the same thing for Andy, but I could take what Fatima has and then we can talk. It would be a simple, easy conversation. Like, hey, girl, I know you got your cousin. I got this situation going on. Can you give her a phone call for me and let's handle this? No problem. See, that's what Andy needed to do when it came to Gary, but she's in love with that man. But I feel with Danni, I would have to kind of rein her in a little bit. She'll tell the truth, but at least Fatima has that extra, backup in case, I really, really, really need it and get rid of somebody.
Well, I guess in my case, for Danni stops it on the front end. Fatima lets you go through the issue, and when it gets too bad, then you have to call somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I think I would rather for somebody to say, "Look, don't even go there," instead of saying, "Well, girl, don't go there, but if you do go there, I can clean it up for you." You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Danny's like, "Don't do that. Nah, I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think you need to tell Zach that he's not the father. I think you shouldn't do, And so Danni tried to stop you at the gate. Whereas Fatima, she'll try to talk you as you walk through the gate, but if it gets messy down the road, even though you done went through bumps and bruises, then you can bring in Madam and her people.
I mean, I feel she has to do that with just Andy though, because whenever she goes up to like Hayden or like other people that she's around, she has no problem just cutting to the chase and ready to say her piece. I feel like she treats Andy a particular way, and maybe that's because that's her boss, and that she's grown close with her, so she wants to try to be nicer with her. I feel it'll be a little bit different if it were me, but you make very valid points when it comes to Danni too. Like she'll cut right to the chase. Like, no, it's a dumb idea. Don't do that. Yeah. I don't support this.
And the thing is, Hayden is not when we were talking about it in the realm of friends, Hayden is not Fatima's friend. So of course she can't stand that man. But in a girlfriend friendship group, sometimes you'll have that one friend that be like, no. And then you have those other friends that'll be like, oh, girl, it's going to be all right. Go ahead. Do what you want to do. Knowing that you're about to fall on your face.
Right. Which we'll see next week.
Right.
With Amy.
Exactly.
With that same look on her face, just frozen, just stuck in time, like, yeah, I'm getting married.
Mm-hmm.
She looks scared, but I think she's happy to have that ring on.
Girl, that's a big ring. That thing is huge.
Oof, I'm surprised she hid that.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing is, he raised her finger up. Nobody saw that big old ring on her finger. And she was around Rich and Tony. You mean tell me, and the other two women, nobody saw that?
Exactly. All those women in there, and women love jewelry. They would have eyed it from the get-go. Mm-hmm. But I think she slipped that thing right on as soon as she saw him.
Yep. Probably did. But either way, he saw it and showed it to the world. And everybody lost it. But you know what? They mad at him. You need to talk. Y'all need to be mad at her. Y'all done been through this with Andy for 6 seasons. From day one, y'all been through this with Andy. Mm-hmm. Before Andy went to straight hair, when Andy was wearing twisties in her hair, y'all was going through this with her and Gary. So y'all need to be looking at her like, what you mad at Gary for? You gotta be talk to her.
Exactly. While you're in his house, in his air conditioning, he probably still pay the bills and everything.
And see, this is one of those Fatima moments. Fatima was like, girl, I don't think you need to keep this stuff. She was like, oh no, I'll be fine. Oh, okay, well, I guess we enjoy the ride while you're riding. Whereas Danni told her, you need to get that stuff back. You need to move out the house.
Yeah. But they're treating it like this is her house. It's not her house.
It's not. That he bought what he bought it for. It's in her name. Because the paperwork, what was that, season 3? The paperwork was all put in her name, but he gave it to her. So he's still trying to claim it's almost, and I don't think that should be a right way to do it, but the way that it's written. So it'll be like
Mm-hmm.
if I gave you a gift, Bree, but I
Mm-hmm.
still claim that it's mine just because I gave it to you. That's what this
Yeah.
was, because he did put it on her name. Yep.
Probably some other stipulations too, because he's walking in there freely and she can't stop him.
Well, the thing is, she ain't saying much at all because he threatened to expose them photos about him and, um, about
Jordan.
Jordan, with
Mm-hmm.
the fake prostitutes and everything up in there. And so she's trying to save face when she could just carry her butt to the FBI and tell
Yeah,
them everything.
exactly. But
Record them. She could next time y'all in them and get them heated. Well, if you do this, remember what our plan is. I'm going to do this to you. Record him and take that to the FBI.
I wouldn't be in that house after he said that he bugged my house. I'd be in a hotel. I'd be somewhere, anywhere else but there. But she's still going up there, taking a shower, going to sleep, cooking and clean. Like, you want this man.
Of
There's
course.
just no other way. She was smart enough to help put Penelope in witness protection or try to work with the FBI, but you're not smart enough to leave that house
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Girl, please.
in that car.
She ain't
He
going
could have been
nowhere.
tracking her.
You talking about a penthouse condo and a Rolls Royce. She's seeing, oh my God. I'm not giving this up because a Rolls Royce is worth what, six figures? Am I correct? Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
$350,000.
Yep.
And then who knows how much that high rise penthouse that she has in Atlanta. It's probably what, $1 million? Maybe.
Either which way, if she's been living there for a long while, her being an attorney, she could, if anything, she'd be like, "Look, let me buy you out. Let me pay you the money to let me have this apartment." Why doesn't she just change the lock? If it's in her name, why can't you change the locks, put some security cameras, be smart? But that's too much of a stretch for Andy. I understand.
Girl, wait a minute. Christy says, I'm so done with Gary. He's having too much fun. And she said Andy is a super simp.
Yep. Yep.
She,
That's why she forever wants to play Wonder Woman every chance she
if
gets.
she was smart, she should have sold the rose, sold the apartment, get her own place, and cash out and liquidate both of those items.
Right. Exactly. She got plenty of money stacked up by now. I would,
Girl,
if anything, go to a hotel until all this is resolved.
girl, she ain't going nowhere. That girl, part of her still like the toxicity. That man is toxic. He's gotten worse this season, but the previous seasons he was just as toxic. And she used to keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. She was with Robin. That didn't work. She was with Paris. That didn't work. It was one guy she just could not stay away from Gary.
And she going to get her butt unalive at the end of all of this. Watch.
I just, I don't know. She's the star. She's one of the stars of the show. So I don't know if Tyler would get rid of her. But yeah, this whole thing is going to be interesting next week. Jordan is wanting answers. Like, you ain't leaving here until you tell me what's going on. At this point, you might as well.
Exactly. At least he can help out. Do something. Do more than just have that sad, sourpuss look on your face.
Exactly,
Like, woe is me. Oh, I'm a victim. Oh, she's choosing to be a victim too.
Absolutely. Please, she can get herself out of this. But yeah,
Yep.
it was a crazy episode. It did start off kind of slow because I was waiting to see when Gary was gonna bring his crazy self up in there. Um, but That whole thing with Tamara and Hayden was oh jeez. Ooh, I
That
was like,
woke me
what
all the
in
way
the
up.
world? That
That
was,
woke me all the way up.
I know. And then she had to describe the fact it was a gray hair too. I'm like, oh my goodness. But we know what he been doing.
Yeah, he been solidifying his position as Stedman. Look, he had to do what he had to. I understand, but yeah, that was so nasty.
And both of them are cheating on each other. I mean, Tamara's sleeping with Gary, and he is sleeping with his client.
I mean, is that a real relationship, though? In all
No, I didn't
honesty,
say it was a relationship. I just say sleeping with multiple. Well,
yeah.
these two were married. And then I think they tried to annul it, but they didn't. So Hayden and Tamara are in a relationship, but the people that they dealing with is all 110% transactional. Yeah, sex.
Wow. This is not the Tamara. This is a completely different type of Tamara. Let me just say. The polar
Oh,
opposite of a different Tamara.
I know, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so yeah, it was a few shockers in this episode. It was a couple of emotional moments when Karen tried to have her moments of clarity and peace. So yeah, and then we saw Pam tried to get her plug in. So
Every episode, by the way.
it's like, girl, go find yourself some marketing teams to do your business. Every time you look up, you should that even right quick, that whole thing with her showing up at Andy's job, talking about her business, even though Miss Marie liked it. I'm like, how
She has no
tacky.
shame, no
No,
nothing.
I'm talking about hustling. Aisha said no class.
No class, no respect. She's just not worth a damn, in my opinion.
Mm-mm-mm. All right.
she just, she's just a whole mess. That's why I don't feel bad for her.
He said Tamara is going to put Gary and Hayden at odds. Yeah, she got that video footage of her and Gary.
I
So,
mean, she's used good. None of those men care about that woman like that.
girl.
She used good. They know exactly what she's about. That's why Gary's moving how he's moving, trying to silk it with Andy, and Hayden is screwing Miss Marie, not having a care in the world. Because if Tamara leaves him, he knows he's the next Sedman, or at least in the running to try to be.
Yep. I agree. I agree. All right. How many people we got in the chat, girl?
We had 11 in the chat. I know usually the replay is going to be a big, usually after the live ends. So we really appreciate everybody. I see some familiar faces too, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming over here, watching Sisters with Bree and I, and talking trash about the show. Make sure hopefully 11 of you guys hit the like button. So at least YouTube will be like, well, she had a live over there about this subject. Let me see if I can push this out, because 11 people liked it. So make sure you hit that like button on the way out. And we do this once a week with Sisters, every Wednesday night after the show. And make sure you follow us. If you do enjoy daytime soap operas, we also do live chats, and there's spoilers and recaps and all that good stuff over here as well. You are so welcome, Aisha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, you got anything else, Bree, before we shut it down? I know it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast.
No, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's always so much fun to do this, and we'll stay tuned to next week with Andy's foolishness.
Yeah, a whole lot of foolishness. All right, girl. Until then, we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.